Hi everyone, we'll be starting in about 5 minutes, just waiting for the rest of the participants. If you haven't done so already, can you please fill out the survey, and if you are a WA school, there is a link to the Connect community. Right, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to our LEGO League professional learning session today. Before we start, I'd just like to do an acknowledgement of country. So we would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work and learn, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. We recognise their continuing connection to the land, water and community, and we pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. We welcome all visitors to our school. So just a couple of introductions. My name is Alana. I am the DigiTech coordinator here. I'm also the FLL coach and a volunteer judge. And I have with me here today, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Chad. I'm a panel integrator. Like, I work with schools with their IT, but I also help out with First Lego League here at Kundula, and I'm also obviously a coach and a volunteer.
And then we've got Eddie at the back here, and he's on the chat today. So if you have any questions and you want to put your hand up or you want to stop at any time, can you just let Eddie know? And he'll be posting all the links in the chat for you as well, so you can go ahead and click on those and grab some resources today. So I'm just going to turn off our camera. You are more than welcome to keep yours on. It's completely up to you. Okay, so a couple of housekeeping things today. So we are on Webex, so please mute your audio, and your cameras of course are optional. Can we please check for a hands up? So you should have a hands up option. So can you go ahead and press hands up? It's great, thank you guys, it's awesome, fantastic. Okay, and then can we ask for a hello and just your location in the chat today, please? Kaya. That's great, thank you guys. All right, and lastly, can we get you just to pop an emoji on the screen for us, just checking that everything is working for today.
Hey, right?
Fantastic, thank you. All right, we're just going to start with a poll today. So we have something called Slido. So what we'd like you to do, you can either go to slido.com and Eddie can put that link in the chat there for you, or you can just go ahead and you can scan the QR code there today. And we're just going to poll you today. So I'm going to move that across. So what are you hoping to achieve from today's Webex? So we want to make sure that we're able to assist you with everything today. So if you go ahead and see what you'd like, just write down what you'd like to achieve in today's Webex for us. Knowledge, fantastic.
I assume that means more than one person said it.
Yes. Same with that one.
Yeah.
You guys can see the responses for everyone popping up on the screen. If it's the larger word on the screen, that means that more people have asked for that.
Conflict start James, good one.
Just wait for those last two people to finish typing. Fantastic, thank you so much guys. You can see just a lot of general Lego League information, that's great. We've got some resources and coding, so we can definitely help you with those things today, and that gives us a bit of direction on what slides to go quickly through and which ones to sit on for a bit. Alright, so these are the AITSL standards that we are looking at today. So again, like all of our PL events, these will be available in the Connect community for you to download and have a look at. If you are joining us from a private school or from over east, please feel free just to email me and I'll send these out to you as well. Okay, so our learning intentions today. So we're looking at an understanding and introduction to the first LEGO League and the structure that we have here in WA. We're going to unpack the components of the first LEGO League competition and how to get started with FLL, so that's First LEGO League, the EV3, which is the older model robot that you see at the top here, and the Spike Prime down the bottom, and then any curriculum links and resources associated with the EV3 and the Spike Prime. So basically, why First LEGO League? There's a few reasons why we do that here at Kandula. So first of all, the project-based learning has linked really nicely with our students and the actual community innovation project that goes along with the coding game here. Explicit direct instruction. So we are an EDI school, and part of that means that we do little short burst coding before we send the kids off to solve their missions, and that short burst coding we do with an EDI format. We do find high engagement with this program. There is a lot of public speaking skills that happen through this program as well. So we'll often find our very quiet Year 5 boys really come out of their shell and start to do a lot of public speaking when they hit Year 6. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this video for you. So just a quick little video about First LEGO League.
My favorite thing about First LEGO League is the teamwork.
Probably being with my friends.
And we get to make it real. That's my favorite part. And we get to play with Legos and build it real.
First LEGO League is one of 3 engaging FIRST programs. Participants gain real-world problem-solving experiences through a guided global robotics program, helping today's students and teachers build a better future together.
First LEGO League introduces STEM to children ages 4 to 16 to inspire young people to experiment and grow their critical thinking, coding, and design skills through hands-on STEM learning and robotics.
First LEGO League is fun. Students can't wait for this part of the day. They're teaching inclusion, teamwork, how to be creative and think outside the box.
Children can join at any division based on their age or grade level. First LEGO League Discover is a playful introductory STEM program that ignites students' natural curiosity and builds their habits of learning with hands-on activities in the classroom and at home using Lego Duplo bricks.
I built a supermarket.
I built a fire station, and I even put a kitchen so the firefighters don't get hungry.
We built all kinds of stuff that we could help our community.
In First LEGO League Explore, students focus on the fundamentals of engineering.
Students explore a real-world scientific concept, build a model, and code it to make it move using LEGO education technology.
They are able to do a lot of learning through play. All of a sudden, the students will have those aha moments.
So I was like, oh, I know how they build the robots now. When it works, I'm very happy because we worked really hard.
It goes into the plants and it goes down into the ground and it goes through these.
We get to share our ideas and build off of other people's ideas.
It's just like really cool and like so cute to see them being all excited and happy. I feel like when you're young and you find that, it like follows you along as you grow, and so that keeps you motivated to do things.
Friendly competition is at the heart of First LEGO League Challenge. As teams of students ages 9 to 16 engage in research, problem solving, coding, and engineering.
Our students are creating something new every single year. And they're learning about all of these things that you would never see in a traditional classroom or curriculum.
First LEGO League Challenge has 3 components: the core values, the robot game, and the innovation project where you're able to solve a real-world problem.
First LEGO League is about more than robots. It's about solving problems that are bigger than they've ever imagined, thinking outside the box, and being excited to be part of a team.
am first.
Yo soy first.
First is my family.
First is the best thing you could be.
First is discovery, innovation, impact,
Inclusion.
teamwork, fun.
Alright, so just moving on, why first LEGO League? So we've gone through that, but one of the questions we get is how do you fit it in? So when we do teach FLL, how do we fit it in our overcrowded schedule as teachers, and how do we align it with the curriculum? So at KPS we run the FLL program from the previous year as the term 3 and 4 curriculum alongside the process and production skills and then the digital implementation for our coding, and all of our students are exposed to LEGO League, not just our team. And then students that win a knockout competition at the end of term 3 will go through to compete in term 4 at the LEGO League. And then you can see here, this is the FLL, that's one of the infographics there for the engineering design process, and there's our process and production skills. So they align really well when you're looking at assessment and delivering those lessons together. Alright, so this year we've gone with not only our short burst EDIs, but we're actually teaching them through a website base as well. So our students come into class, they will have a little quick lesson about how to do a certain concept, and then they'll go ahead and they'll have self-paced learning on a website. So that looks a little bit like this. Can't get it to expand. There you go. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get it to expand. Any ideas? There we go. Alright, so this is the website that our 5s and 6s are using this year. So at the top we'll generally tell them what's coming up and what they're working on. And then we like to give them all the resources for First LEGO League. We'll give them optional codings and modules for them to work on their own if they want to. And then they can come and sit with us. Just lets the kids choose the missions within the LEGO League program, and we're going to talk about the missions shortly, so each student might choose a different thing to work on. Alright, so we've just got a bit of feedback from some students here about why first LEGO League. The boys on the left are our very first team that we had, so that's the 3 boys here, and you'll see the robot is an EV3. So we're going to give you some resources on the EV3 to use today. And these 3 boys here are our Year 6 boys in our very first team.
My favorite thing about First LEGO League is the teamwork.
Probably being with my friends.
The most exciting thing about First LEGO League is the competition.
First LEGO League gives kids a real-world engineering problem, and then they have to design, build, code, and solve the problem. First LEGO League is about more than robots. It's about solving problems that are bigger than they've ever imagined, thinking outside the box, and being excited to be part of a team.
Students are learning how to work together, they're learning how to be team players, they're learning how to be leaders, they're learning to express themselves, they're very independent.
First LEGO League it focuses on developing problem-solving skills while incorporating STEM and fun into learning.
The first LEGO League season culminates by attending a regional tournament.
At the tournament, we have 3 stages that we have to do.
There's the robot field part, there's the core values where we use the core values we learned throughout the season, then the presentation, we present our research project.
They were really excited to go see what the other teams had learned and to ask them questions about how they built their robot.
We get to share our ideas and build off of other people's ideas. Even though we're competing against other teams, one thing that we really focus on is cooperation, which where every single team who we're competing against, we're also working together, and it really creates an amazing environment to work in.
Getting to work with other students that are interested in engineering from a young age kind of prepares you for all of the collaboration that engineering as a field requires.
First LEGO League is one of 4 FIRST programs that helps develop the next generation of leaders and innovators.
it can help you figure out who you want to be, where you want to go, and help you expand your skills in so many ways.
First LEGO League is a partnership between FIRST and LEGO Education.
First is inspiring.
First is discovery,
Innovation.
Impact. Inclusion.
Teamwork.
fun.
FIRST really empowers young people to become strong global citizens. We want students to get the skills that they need to use science and technology to solve really hard but really important problems that face everyone around the world.
Alright, so just a bit of a background for Kandula Primary. So we have only been doing this competition 3 years. This is our fourth year?
Yeah,
Fourth year. Our first year in 2019, we actually had one robot between 10 students, so it was a bit of a struggle. We had to get a grant for that. So a bit of context, Kandula is a school that has about 70% students of non-English speaking background. So that in itself presents a lot of issues and problems for us, and we found that technology was very good at evening the playing field. So in our first year we won Judge's Choice at the Caramar Regional, and then the second year we built a bit more capacity and the students took out quite a few awards. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, maybe on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our first year we had a team of 10. I don't recommend a team of 10, that was quite hectic.
Yeah, it was too many kids.
Way too many kids, yeah. Team of 7 the following year worked a lot better. And then in 2021 last year, the students have actually really progressed. So they won their regional award, their championship regional award. So the kids are doing fantastic. So it's a program that is suitable to be differentiated for students of all backgrounds and all abilities in terms of literacy and numeracy. Any student can achieve in this program, which is absolutely fantastic. And last year we did have 10 students again, but we found that we kind of split the way that we did work last year. So again, we kind of evolved the way we were doing things.
Yeah, we also had 10 because we had the 2 groups.
Yeah, we did.
And yeah, they had 2 groups, and even though one team won, we just still wanted to keep all the kids around. So, like, you know how Alana talked earlier about how we had the kids compete first, and then usually the team that won, we used their robot for the competition. And yeah, it went on to obviously perform quite well that year.
Yeah. Alright, so this year, this is our running schedule. So obviously registration is open already. All of our missions have just arrived in Australia today, so I've just received an email that all the Lego is here and ready to be built, so that's fantastic. The hackathon, so that will be happening a little bit later on. Now the hackathon is run by Curtin University, and Eddie will pop a link in the chat for you. Hackathon is a bunch of the coaches that get together and we have a go at the game. So we have a go at solving the missions, learning how to code, and we share all of our ideas together. It's a fantastic event, so Chad and I go to it regularly.
Yeah, hackathon is a lot of fun. Yeah, as you said, you just get all the random coaches from a lot of the obviously WA schools. Yeah, we just get to compete with each other. A couple of years ago, Alana and I won the actual hackathon, and we got lucky that year, and they gave us 2 Star Destroyer Lego kits for winning. So it's a lot of fun. So hopefully we see as much of you guys as possible.
Yeah. Also, even if you're not planning on getting a team this year, you just want to get a bit of information, it's a great opportunity for you to come down and have a look at how the game works. And then in November we have our training, so you can volunteer as a judge or a referee or any person on the day there for the actual events. There's many regional events. What I find is that if you are interested but you're not quite ready to jump in, volunteering is a fantastic way to get onto the inside and understand how the whole program works. And then on the 12th of November, our regionals start. So here is our regional lineup for this year. So starting on the 12th, we're up in Tapping, and we do go remote. So we have got a couple of countries, we have got Kalgoorlie there. And then in December, we move towards the state finals. Okay, so it's absolutely fantastic opportunity. There's lots of regionals for you to get to. That one that you see here, this one is St. Stephen's.
Yep.
Alright, so this is the theme for this year. So this year is super powered. So this is a quick little video about what the theme is. Okay, so that's a little bit of a taster for this year. This slide here just shows a couple of our curriculum linkages that you can find. Everyone is obviously very familiar with our digital technologies curriculum, and there's the different links there. Eddie will pop a link in the chat for you. So First actually has their own document, which Eddie has just posted in there for you, and that document links the Australian curriculum to First LEGO League. So if you're thinking about doing this in class, that's an excellent resource to use when planning. Alright, so the structure of our game. So there are 4 different areas. We've got core values, robot design, robot game, and the innovation project. So the robot game is what you see the kids doing with the actual robots that you saw in the videos. The rest of that is completely separate, and they're all equally weighted. So a lot of people think the robot game is the winning component of this competition, but it's actually not. You need an equal weighting in each. So our judging session, what happens on the day is the students bring all their equipment with them, or their robots, or their innovation project, and they go into a judging pod. Now in that judging pod they will have a panel of judges, and there'll be a quick little welcome, and it's about a 30-minute presentation and question workshop that takes place in that room. When you go in there with your students, you are not permitted to carry any of their equipment, touch their robot, hook anything up to the computer. It all needs to be completely student-led. Other coaches will let you know this. They will be very strict and stringent, especially down on the game floor as well. So
yeah, on that day, as a coach, you're just a bystander.
Exactly
It's all about the kids. It's about the kids having fun, the kids leading the way, and it's just really enjoyable watching them like expand as they do that on the day.
Alright, so the first part of that is your robot design, coding, and the game. So we've linked those all together. So First LEGO League will provide you with rubrics for each area. So this is the robot design rubric here. And as you can see, very easy link with those P&P skills here, and then what they're asking for. So again, really easy if you're going to link this to your curriculum and teach it in your classes. So moving to the next part here, this is our game. So the actual game itself is 3 rounds of 2.5 minutes. Now the highest score out of those 2.5 minutes is the score that your team will take through. So it's not an accumulation of 3 scores, it is the highest score only. And scores are calculated against the actual missions completed. So there is a season playlist that can assist you with that. We're not going to watch this particular video because it's about 10 minutes long. But I think Eddie's going to pop the link in the chat for you should you wish to have a look at that a little bit later. And the playlist, just for you to see, is that one there. So there's lots of different resources for you to have a look at. Alright, so this is the game this year. This is actually quite different to last year, which is really cool. So in previous years you only had 1 launch area, and you had a big home area on the side here, and you only had 3 students. So what they're going to this year is a dual launch area. You've got left and you've got right, and then you've got a double home area here, which means that you can have 4 students that are on your team and competing at the table at any one time, 2 on each side. Those students cannot swap sides, and you only get the 1 robot. So if you want the students on the left hand side to finish their coding on this side for the actual robot, you go ahead and get them to finish on this side, and they can return it back the other way. So the scores again, or there are about 15 missions here, and each one will have its own components as to how much it's worth. So part of the game is your students figuring out the best strategy for them to be able to complete the most amount of missions, or get the most or the highest score in that time. Do you want to add anything?
I was just going to say, basically the launch area, the robot just has to launch from inside those lines. So
yeah. So your robot actually can't, you cannot touch anything outside the home and the launch area. So if you put your robot in this area and part of its attachment is in the field here, you're not able to do that. Everything must launch and fit within this white quadrant. Yes, they can. Yeah. So Michael, yeah, they can only be what the side that they start on is the side that they must stay at. They can't go to the other side. So, but you do have 3 matches, so you can end up with.
If they tag out, can they then swap sides?
No.
Okay.
No, you got to stay on your side.
So even if they tag out, they have to stay on that
They have
same
to stay
side.
on your side, yeah.
Okay.
But you can tag team, so you can actually have someone standing on the side and tag team in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this is an example of one of the missions. So we have what we call gracious professionalism. So it's all about good sportsmanship, it's about being a good person, teamwork, and caring for others. So this particular mission, mission 5, is reliant on your opponent on the table next to you also doing the mission. So 0 points if your hand is down, 20 points if you get it up, and if the opposing team on the other side happens to high-five you, there's an additional 10 points. So each mission that you see on that mat there is worth a different amount of points. So every one of these missions here will have a different amount of points for you to strategize and figure out which ones you can do. So this is an example of how some of our students came up with their mission strategy. So they wrote down all the missions in 2020. The ones circled in green are the ones that they could do every time. They split what they were deciding to conquer, and they then linked all their codes together in one big code. So that's how that particular year those students went about doing that. So this is actually the Curtin State Final. So this is an example of the game. So as you can see, there's actually 2 tables back to back here, and you don't actually verse that team. There's no actual versing going on other than the accumulation of points and that one mission that you work together, not against. So I'm going to play that for you. We've got Jack here, who's now in year 8, and Almo, who's now in year 7, and both are doing STEM at the moment, so it's a fantastic carry on.
3, 2, 1, let go!
Okay, so the robot they're using in that clip there is the EV3. So some schools are still using the EV3, and that's perfectly fine. We stopped using the EV3 last year and we've moved to Spike Prime. Spike Prime has its advantages, I think, over the EV3, but both are completely fine to use.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've done alright in the competition with the EV3, so they're definitely not a drawback to them. There are just some things that the Spike Prime does a little better, like it has an internal gyro, so it's more accurate. But yeah, the EV3 still does the job.
Yeah. Alright, so we've got a comparison here. So you have got the Lego Spike Prime and you've got the EV3. So the EV3 does look a lot more impressive, but you can do the same thing with both. But the EV3 you could see a lot more on the screen here, whereas the Spike Prime you can only go by number. So the students really need to know what each number code represents for their missions. Whereas with the EV3 the students could name the mission and it would pop up on the screen there. So those are a couple of differences between the couple of robots there.
I suppose the other thing too is with that screen, with the Spike, the sensors, you can only see what they're sensing if you have the app open, like the actual program open. Whereas on the EV3s, you could see all what the sensor's doing just by going into the little screen.
That's right.
Yeah, so those were some things that are really cool on the EV3 that made it just quicker for you to work on it.
So both are fine, but both have different advantages. So with the package that comes, it doesn't include a robot. So your Lego will come, your mat will come. So sorry, anyone that hasn't seen the chat, we've just got a question of what's included in the package that gets shipped out. So you do need to build yourself a table or put it on the floor, but having a border is ideal because the kids can use that with their robot for their coding. But you do have to build all the Lego yourself, and you will need to download all of the build instructions from the website. But we do have those in the Connect community for you. You can go straight into our Connect community, or I can email those to you. So what we have on the screen at the moment is got to do with the apps. So you can get these on your Mac, on your PC, on your iPad, on your Chromebook. They're all pretty much the same. We do find that the iPad's probably the best device to use when going to competition, I think. With the different coding, you can differentiate. So you can get the more junior style, smaller blocks, and then moving into this kind of Scratch style here, and then there's also Python. And then if you are using the EV3, you do have the option of makecode.com, which is an online platform.
I suppose the other advantage of this type of coding, like called Blockly, is a lot of schools also use Scratch and Scratch Junior, and it's basically identical. So it's usually a coding language that students already know as well, which helps.
Yeah, and each of these apps comes with their own inbuilt tutorials as well. So if you're unsure of how to do something, these apps are fantastic. They'll have that built in for you. All right, so this is an example of our robot design. So the students get marked on their robot design. This is the forklift design here. This was our first year, and then later on we moved to a modular design. So what I mean by that is the year after we moved to a robot where you could pull out attachments and reattach things, whereas this was our first year and we went with one solid robot.
Yeah, we went with the forklift because most of the missions, benefited from the forklift. So the students made the decision that they needed something that was going to lift a lot, and so this is what the design was.
So they came up with, and up here you can see our students in their judging pod right now explaining the process they went through for creating this forklift.
Okay, let's see. Does it work?
Oh,
wrong way.
Wrong way.
Calm down, Mo. Alright, go.
Oh, no.
No. Why doesn't it work?
I know why. But they're like, no, it will.
No, because it's not close to the wheel.
It's not close enough to the wheel, maybe?
Yes.
So what do you need to do then?
Get rid of that piece.
You need to make it a little bit closer, don't you? Yeah, go on, make it closer.
Okay, this is the following year. This is we started with many robots and then ended up with one robot. So these are some of the designs that the kids came up with, the different attachments for different missions. And then as the season progressed, they went ahead and ended up with Mr. Friendly over here, which is what they named the robot. And something to remember is to document. So the judges will be looking for documentation. So you need to show the different steps in the process for coming up with your final robot when you go into judging, you do need to bring all the different attachments and pieces, and same when you go to the table to play your game. You cannot leave once you're in there, so you must be ready to go. Okay, this one is the Innovation and Community Project. So again, we have our rubric here that first we'll provide for you. And it's always linked towards the theme of the year. So this year it'll be about energy and renewable energy. This particular year that you see here, it was about, these students came up with a homeless shelter idea, and they pitched that to the Red Cross. You can see our two guests there watching the presentation, and that was what they came up with that year. So it's about how can they benefit their community. Our kids often do a survey and they gain some community insight from people in their local area, and then they go ahead and they pitch to professionals and they get some feedback and then change from there. So the following year, the kids then went ahead and created an app. So that video up the top I'm not going to play for you, but that's just a video of the girls rehearsing this particular one, and I think Eddie's got the link there if anyone wants to go ahead and watch that when they can. And that was something that they created for their sports year for that one there. So this is always a lot harder, and it has, I think, probably, if not more work than the coding, I would say.
No, definitely.
It is a massive component for the kids to do. So do keep that in mind, that the coding is matched, if not outmatched, by a community project. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it really is.
Alright, so this is the core values. So first has their core values that they like to see on the day. So they're down the bottom here of the screen. And you would have seen the kids in those videos earlier using all of these buzzwords. So what's happening there is our 2019 team. So that particular team was asked to complete a task. So they were given a little mini mission when they were inside the room, and the way they completed the task was then marked against the core values. So the link for the LEGO student notebook you can find on their resource page. So we will put that up for you. It's also in our Connect community, and I can also email that to you, Sharon. But in terms of keeping documentation, we often create our own, so you're not bound to the LEGO engineering notebook at all. You can create your own documentation, and that's completely fine. So the year after this year, they changed the format, so they actually interviewed the students and asked them how they demonstrate the core values. So you want to go through the core values with your students and make sure that they understand each of these words and what they mean and how they demonstrate them as a team. So we often have open discussion with our peers, and what you see on the board there is one of the years the students made a bit of a brainstorm and they wrote down the ways that they show those core values. And those little, these sentences here, they're all taken off the core value rubric, and then they've written how they accomplish that.
The other thing too about this core value, I think, in a lot of the areas, is if you just have one or two people doing all the speaking, the judges will pick up on that and they'll start asking the kids who are just being quiet what they think. So you want to have the kids spread the load across all of them. Everybody knows what each question is. That way, when the judges ask, the students know how to answer. So it really is about that collaboration and teamwork.
Yeah, definitely. And I would highly recommend something that we do with our kids every year is we run a mock interview session, a mock judging session, and we throw every single question we possibly can at them. And you want to make sure, just like Chad said, that every student is able to answer every question.
And that's to do with coding as well. So obviously then they're not all going to be able to answer. Like, the judges will know who the kids are who are really good at coding and the ones aren't. So they'll be pretty lenient on that. But yeah, you still want the kids to be able to understand the basics of why the robot acts the way it does.
That's exactly right, yeah. So they do need to respond to each other's responses. That's exactly right. So they need to hear everyone, and a lot of the time you will get the feedback on those forms from judges saying we'd like to hear from the more quiet students or let others speak. This is just an example of some of the templates we use here at Kindle. They are available on our Connect community if you would like them, but you don't need to use them. They're just there if you'd like that resource. Alright, so here are a couple of links. So that first link up the top, that's the resource library for this year. So that should get you all of the documentation that you need. And that documentation will include the robot game rulebook. It will include the maps and everything that you need and explanations. There are some Facebook groups down the bottom which are fantastic. So the first LEGO League WA coaches group in particular, there's a lot of us on there and we're all very helpful. Any newbies, we're all happy to help. So please go ahead and join that. There is also the first LEGO League Australia coaches Google group. So that's more of an Australia-wide, and it's more of a chat forum, but it's also a great place and resource to go. And there's also a volunteer LEGO League page that's also a fantastic place to go. Alright, so where to next? So there is the Connect community, obviously. If you would like a individual professional learning session, so if you would like one of us to come out and demonstrate how to use the robots or talk you through a bit more detail, we are happy to do that. There will be a link that Eddie will post in the chat for you to be able to do that. If you are a private school in WA, or if you are a country or a remote school, we still do come out, so please by all means just send me an email and we can organise that for you. Yep, absolutely, Gabrielle. Absolutely, we can come give you a little mini Spike Prime teacher session, or we can support you in class if you would like. That's not an issue at all. No problems. Do you have anything you want to add?
I was gonna say, even like if you're not 100% on the coding, even if you can make yourself free on that hackathon day,
yeah,
like we'd be happy to sit down and show people how to code. Like, you know, even if we don't get to participate in the day, we're still happy to show people, because some people with their coding can be quite daunting.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to do with the students that I wanted to bring up when we had the coding, but I forgot to say it, was with the coding, the students might come to you with like 15 blocks that all do this one process. And when you understand the coding yourself, you can actually look at their code and go, well, actually they could do this in 4 blocks. And so I like to go back to the students, go, you can actually shorten this down, and work with them on trying to shorten the code. And it's just really exciting to see in their faces as they start to understand the coding a little bit better. So yeah, so it is, there is that fun side of it, watching them figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because obviously you can't just show them, hey, this is how you do it in 4 blocks, because then they're not learning. All they're doing is being a parrot. So you want to get them to go off and do it themselves. But yeah, definitely if anybody wants any help, they could just reach out.
Yeah, so that link and my email, that's perfectly fine. And then we're just going to run a little video for you down the bottom. And the reason that we want to run this video, so this is a Google video, but it is about LEGO League. This particular girl you see on the screen started first LEGO League, and now she's gone through and she's in university, and it's a bit of a story. It's just a quick little one. Our students here, some of them have gone through to get, from our first year, have gone through into STEM specialisation programs. They're choosing STEM. We have a couple of scholarship recipients. It is a great eye-opener and gateway for some kids that otherwise would not be looking into this avenue or might not have access to this. So that's something to keep in mind.
Sarah Heimlich, and I've been involved with the First Family of Programs since I was 10 years old. This program has literally changed my life. I started off as a very shy and quiet 10-year-old who would literally hide behind her mom at the grocery store. I didn't really have any ambitions in life, and I had no passion. Today, I'm a 4th-year engineering student who's interned at Google, and I'm a member of the Australian Regional Planning Committee for FIRST. So I've told you a little bit about how I got involved, but let's go find out what drives some of the other students. Come on.
Well, about 6 years ago, some Americans came to my high school and did a presentation about this robotics team they were starting, and since I was into science and math, I decided that would be a good thing to go along to, and I'm still here 6 years later.
I always saw my dad working on like the car and like a computer and stuff, and I was interested in trying to help him, but I didn't know how. So when I realized our school had a robotics team, I was like, oh, I should try this.
So why robots?
Because why not?
It's a life-changing experience, and I like working with the kids and getting them to see what engineering can do for the world.
I've never actually thought about this until my school offered it to me, and they said, you know, we have a robotics program. And I said, what's that? And then they said, oh, you get to build a robot. And I was like, a robot?
They're cool as, like, the robots with us.
Every single time I see a robot move, I just get so happy.
All I knew about engineering was that it was boring. I didn't exactly know what it was, but I knew it was boring. And now, after 4 years of being on this robotics team, I'm looking at pursuing a degree in biomedical engineering, majoring in software engineering.
I love working with these young engineers. It's really inspiring.
Because robots are cool.
What kind of robots are you going to be building for us in 10 years?
I look forward to being able to interface the human body with engineering and robotic technology. So like nanobots to go into a bloodstream or something like that.
Hopefully there's some kind of cleaner robots, because no one likes cleaning.
People usually go, you know, I'm in a basketball team or I do dancing or something, but it's not every day they get to go, you know, I'm part of a robotics team.
They're going to advance the way we live. They're going to change the world, and it's going to be these people who change the world.
Like before I wasn't really interested, but now I'm like, engineering can be like in my future now.
My family has been doing it since I was a baby, and I really like the idea of getting to do all this cool stuff that normal people don't really get to do.
I really want to see some really great advancements in the medicine area and medical engineering, because I believe that medical engineering has the capacity to really change some lives.
Hopefully flying ones. I really want a flying one.
One that flies.
Something really awesome, hopefully.
I just hope it's a robot that will help someone.
Something that can fly.
Ideas for the future haven't even been thought of yet, so hopefully I get to help in planning them.
All right, that's it from us. So thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself or pop it in the chat. Otherwise, all of those resources will be available on our Connect community for you.
Yeah, it's definitely, the first Lego League is definitely something fun and exciting to get involved in. Even if you're still not overly confident, getting the kids exposed to it will really light their passion, and also yours to do it. So if you're up in the air about doing it maybe this year, I'd probably say just put your hand up for it. You know, there are some teams that rock up there and they barely even score any points, and there's no mocking or anything like that, because everyone knows everyone starts, you know, somewhere. So yeah, so I would definitely, if you're thinking about it, I would personally say it's worth jumping in. The kids have a fantastic time.
You might want to check that. So we have a question about letting your admin know if you're filling out a request form. Requests for support, you're more than entitled to do as a teacher and employee of the Department of Education, but if you feel that you might need to check with admin if this is something that your school would be interested in doing, then perhaps that would be the best thing to do. But we do individual, so we can come out to your school, that's not a problem. We do country trips quite regularly. We've just come back from the Kimberleys. So nothing is out of the question. We are happy to help in any way that we can.
You're all welcome.
Yeah, you're all very welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
showing up.
Yeah, for coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Anna. No problems. Come and visit anytime. So Liam, the Connect community is the Kandula DigiTech PS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
PS DigiTech. I'll post it in the chat as well.
Yeah, so Eddie is posting that in the chat for you.
So somebody said they'll see us at the hackathon.
That was Sarah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dawn. Okay, so how much time do we allocate to FLL each week? So the kids have one session after lunch. As we get closer to the game, they're in here all the time because they're excited, which is actually really fantastic to see. They are knocking on my door before school, after school, recess, lunchtime. But officially 1 session after lunch. But then they do have, this is the coding part of our year for our curriculum anyway, so they are learning the coding in their technology class at the same time.
Yeah, it is 1 hour. Yep.
Yeah, it is 1 hour, Anna. Yeah, you do need to purchase a robot, so no robot comes with the actual kit that's coming from First Australia. That's correct. And with that, if you don't have a robot, we do have some old EV3s here that we are happy to loan out. So if purchasing a robot is an issue, we do have EV3s.
Doesn't the Spike actual app has some?
Yeah. So Natalie, the actual Spike app will have some beginning tutorials for you, but there is, I have got some links on the Connect community, and I can send them through to you as well. There is an excellent website, I think it's called Prime Lessons. There's a couple of boys overseas that have created all these different lessons, and I take a lot of my lesson content and things from there, and the students work really well with those.
Yeah, Jen, you will need to get a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Okay, sorry. I'm not listening.
So yeah, the coding is predominantly Scratch based.
Yeah.
You can do it like a junior Scratch, or you can do it more of the Blockly style, but then it does go through to Python if you're looking at extending your students. So the cost of a robot? It's a good question. I can look that up for you. Oh, you put it back in the chat? So Eddie's going to put that back in the chat.
Oh, that's the
lessons.
lessons.
No, that's the Prime Lessons. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, so Eddie's put the link there in the chat for you. So one kit is about $600. But like I said before, we do have some of the older EV3 ones. If money is an issue, we're more than happy to loan those out. Happy chat? Yeah, it's a program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's Michael?
Yep, can do. These robots are pretty robust as well. So you know, yeah, so $600. Yeah, it does sound like a bit, but they do last.
They do, and you can buy them in kits, so you will get a discount if you buy a few at the same time.
Yeah. And you do a lot of fun things with them. Like one of my favorite things to do with the robots is to create sumo wrestling, where the kids actually design their robot and they just basically bash away at each other, and the kids love it. Yeah, have big sessions, and it's real basic coding to get it to do it. So it's just a fun afternoon. It looks like most people are starting to leave.
It's starting to go.
Yeah.
So Angela, I can come out to Alkimos and do a little session with you. So that's not a problem if you like. I can come code with you for an afternoon.
It's a shame I did Alkimos Beach, not Alkimos.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, when did Alkimos buy from school?
So if you just pop a request through or just email me and we can organise that, Angela, it's not a problem. There you should be. Let's have a look. The robot rulebook is there, just having a look. Do you want to chat while I look?
What with Michael?
Oh, there's lots on that site, Michael. I'm just looking through it. Do you work with Michael?
Sorry?
Do you work with Michael? Yeah, you're right, Liam.
Well, so you guys don't just have to buy through MTA, you can buy
No,
it.
yeah, we can do more as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Has to be on the CUA. Yeah.
Yeah. I was not sure who you guys could buy from. I thought MTA was the only company.
No, we can do both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course, I can't find it nowhere else.
I mean, you might be able to find some on Gumtree even.
Yeah.
Yeah, some. Sure, be some schools trying to get if you want some cheap ones.
Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might just send Michael my mobile number.
You don't give that up to everyone.
Yeah.
You just let him know I'm looking for the engineering book for him. Thanks, Angela. Do you want to charge it?
Should be alright. Have the kids said anything about what their innovation project they're looking at this year is going to be?
No, we're doing that next week.
Do it next week? Be interested to hear what they come up with.
Are you coming on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's Tuesday next week.
Yes.
No, it's Wednesday.
No, it's
No,
Tuesday.
Wednesday tomorrow. Yeah, I'm here tomorrow.
Why isn't you coming? You won't come?
No, I don't have to come.
No, you
if
don't
you're
have
not starting.
No, I don't have anything to do either.
Yeah, so it'll be next week.
We can find something to do. You want to go fix a Promethean board?
Oh, that's the one you texted me about, wasn't it?
So it's not the box at the back, because I switched boxes and it still does it, so it's not that.
So what's it doing?
It just keeps shutting off continuously. Like that entire block has got leaking through the roof and the electrical system is buzzing.
I actually don't know if there's anything I can do looking at it, like, you know.
Because the only thing is the actual board itself needs a hard reset, but I can't find how to hard reset, so I'm just going to call Promethean.
Yeah, but a hard reset wouldn't stop something from turning off and on.
That's why I think it's an electrical.
It's physical. Something physical is happening. It's not a software thing. So
it's an electrician job.
Yeah. Or a new TV.
Yeah, because those are out of date now.
Yeah, typical.
Yeah. Guys, if there aren't any more questions, we might close the meeting. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around. All the questions, and once again, hopefully we'll see some of you guys at Hackathon.
Yep, so hackathon, volunteer, reach out if you need some help. We're more than happy to come out and help you with anything that you need.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Say goodbye.
Bye. Okay, yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, just well, you got my number, so just call whenever you want. See you, mate.